Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to use your whiteboard. So right now I'm logged in on my Zoom, and I followed the previous steps that you see on the Word document. So the first thing you want to do, of course, like I said, is press either share screen here, depending on if you started the meeting, but if you didn't, then you press share screen down here. Okay, so as you can see, it'll give me my desktop. If you have more than one monitor set up, it'll have more than one desktop. I have sticky notes on my desktop, so it's telling me I can share that. You can share your whiteboard, you can share your iPad or iPhone via AirPlay, or you can share via a cable. So to share your whiteboard, of course, you want to click share whiteboard, and then you can go ahead and click share at the bottom. Your whiteboard will come up. So we're going to just kind of talk about some of the options that you can do with your whiteboard. So it's going to automatically start on the draw option. So this little squiggly line that looks like a sine wave is your draw option. So with that, you have a pencil. You could go ahead and draw anything you want. Okay, so if you want to add some text to the board, you can also add text. And I'm just typing hey guys. So let's just say if you type some text and you see that you don't want this text to be in this position, like if Mr. Larry told us to draw a certain circuit and you wanted to label a certain thing, well, you can click select, and here you can move your objects around. If you want to, you can even move your drawings around if you want, if you drew something in the wrong spot. So if you want to go here, there's different stamps that you can place. If you're trying to show a certain thing, you could place an arrow any place that you want. You can also go back to select and select those stamps that you put down. So let's erase this. You just click to erase and it'll erase the whole thing. Now let's just say if, like, I just erased something and you decided I didn't want to erase that, well, you could click undo. And if you decide, well, I did want to erase that, you could click redo. Now here we have format. So format will give you the option to change the color of your pencil. So you have various colors that you can choose from. Also, line width indicates the line width, basically how thick you want your pencil to be. So if you want to draw something with a thin line, you can choose that option. And let's go back to draw here so you can see the difference. So we have a thin line, and let's just say you want it to be thicker. Now you have a thicker line. Also under draw, we have some other options here. If you want to import a rectangle, or if you wanted to, it just has a bunch of different options. If you want to import an arrow, you could play around with it and kind of see all of the options that it has. Also, this tool right here is called the spotlight. So it basically gives you a pointer in a sense. If you're trying to show something in your circuit or show something in something that you drew, you can point to the different areas on your board using the spotlight. Also, you have an arrow. So notice when I click this arrow, is different from the arrow that's in the stamp section, because the arrow that's in the stamp section just gives you this little small blue arrow, which is also effective. But I find that this arrow is a lot more effective because you could click and it shows your name. So if we have multiple people sharing the screen and another person requests to have access to your screen, their arrow will have their name indicating who placed the arrow. So if I was to tap in another location, that arrow will move. Versus this arrow, if I was to place another arrow, this arrow will not move. Only this arrow will appear. But if I was to put another arrow of this kind in a different location, this arrow would disappear and another one would appear in a new location. If you want to, so again, the eraser here, this is erasing specific items. Okay, now if you want to erase the entire page, you can press clear all drawings, clear my drawings, because remember, multiple people can draw on the same whiteboard because we're sharing the same screen. All they have to do is request access. Or you could clear the viewer's drawings, meaning if I started this meeting and you were drawing on the board, I could clear your drawings, or I could clear all of my drawings. Okay, so we went over select. Remember, select is to select anything that you have drawn or typed and move it around. Remember, text is to type on the board anything that you want, okay? Draw means that you want to draw something on the board. You could click, and there's different options where you can draw different things that are already formatted for you, or you could free draw by clicking this thing that looks like a sine wave. Remember, stamp has different stamps that you can put on the board, okay? All you have to do is click an option and then click the board to place the stamp. Spotlight, remember, allows you to spotlight a certain thing that you want to show in your drawing or your text or writing. You can either have the red spotlight, or you can have the arrow as a spotlight, which will have your name that you use to make zoom. The next thing is eraser. So remember, you can erase specific things by clicking them. Format, that gives you the option to change the color of your pencil, your line width, also your font. You can make things bold, italicized, and you can change the size of the text when you're typing. Remember, here we have undo. So the last thing I did was place this arrow stamp. So when I pressed undo, it put it back because I erased it. So if I press redo, it'll erase it again. Those are the last actions that you did, okay? If you made a mistake, these are your best friends. Now, if you want to clear everything that you have on your board, remember, you can press the trash can to clear. Also, there's an option to save your work. If you want to save your work, as you can see, I've saved it. If I press show in my Finder, it'll show me exactly where I saved it to, so that everybody can have kind of a record of their whiteboard each week. But I hope this lesson kind of showed y'all how to work the whole whiteboard on Zoom. I'll see y'all next week.